All right. So I don't know how to introduce the show. This is new, you know.
This is new.
So I guess we'll figure it out later.
It's kind of like, you remember Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah, for
Like
life, for culture.
They just had to randomly, like, they just flipped a coin to pick, like, what the order of the name was. But I'm going to give it to you because of the seniority. I think it's got to be the Dame Dash and Adam show, if it's going to be that.
I think the respect of that is logical. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to make a play for my ownership. I was just with Nori, and he was like kind of pissed when I suggested the idea of this because he's like, "Oh, I always wanted them on Revolt or on whatever." Like,
why would he want me on something he don't own? And I did a show with him, and we spoke about it, but he never really wanted to pass the plug. So I love Nori, but he's Nori.
So you don't look at Revolt as like being an example of doing the right thing in this game? You think it's not independent enough?
I don't really look at Revolt like that. You know, I know that this is Taylor.
Hi Taylor, how you doing?
We were shooting the show, but come on now. She's
I rolled this joint.
She rolled this joint. Oh, so that's why she's here. Okay. She's much more than a joint roller.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You want to be on the show? Do you mind if she sits on the show? Or
No, she could be here for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like women.
That's actually something I thought of at a certain point. I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna end up needing like a female
We definitely gonna need that.
co-star or something. Yeah.
So here's my thing. I'm not really thinking about Revolt in that way, but of course, as a business level, he has a network, and I'm getting a network, or I have a network now. And years ago, when I had creative control, and there was this initiative that there should be black-owned television networks. So I was talking to Comcast, or I forgot whoever it was, and they were like, "Yo, we got to see 100 million." Because you have to be able to sustain loss. Oprah's struggling. And I was like, well, if I got to get 100 million, that means I got to raise it. It won't be black owned. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing was to go and get $100 million worth of content and approach it like that. And, Puff as a black man, regardless of how I feel, because, him and I have a personal relationship, I have nothing but support for Revolt, no matter what, because that's a black man with a station. So even my problem with us as a culture is when we have problems with each other, we say them publicly. And I think we need to just work those things out and always show a united front. So big shout out to Revolt at all times.
Is there a sense of solidarity between you and somebody like Puffy just because you're of the same generation?
I think within our culture, there's not enough solidarity at all. I think Puff is always making sure he's relevant. We may approach things different, but again, him doing what he's doing is better than anything most other people from our culture are doing. So I can't never knock nothing he's doing.
I hear that. What do you think in best case scenario that we could get out of this podcast? Because the main thing that stands out to me is that.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Because this is not the Adam show. It's the Damon and Adam show.
Yeah.
Do you feel some kind of solidarity within your culture, or what do you consider your culture? So, like, there's a Revolt which is black, and there should be solidarity. What kind of solidarity do you have within your culture that you're not telling us about?
But yeah, there's a degree of that. Like if there was like a BMX dude or a skateboard dude, I feel a degree of solidarity with them. So
when you relate to culture, you relate to BMX.
That is one identity
but the
group
white,
that
the
I
white
fall
skin
into.
thing gives
Oh
you,
no, I don't care about that at all.
But you don't, right? But like I've had, like for example, when I used to walk into an office and have a white assistant with Lior, when I would walk out, Lior would always go, "You all right? They treating you okay?" Always. There was always that little like, you know what I mean? Do they give you that little to the side thing ever when you're with black people?
But you really think that Lior? I
guess I believe
bro, you.
He's done it.
But you feel like that's what it was?
I feel like it, bro. He's done it. I'm not telling you something because of intuition.
But do you think he was worried about shit because of some shit that he had seen?
Every time someone white came through, he didn't ask anyone black if they were all right. He only asked somebody white, and he made sure he did it every time. Every time I've been in a room with someone else, and there's no disrespect to Jewish people, I think that shit is gangster. But if you doing business with a Jewish person and it's the Jew against the other Jew, they got their thing going. Right. And that's how it goes. And that's almost how it should be with all cultures. There should be a respect for culture and brotherhood first, to me, but you shouldn't disrespect others to get ahead. That's all.
It's just what identity group you want to go with, because a lot of people end up.
Well, we don't have a choice, bro. But I'm black. You got a choice, and that's what you got to understand.
What I'm saying is
you can be black whenever you feel like it. We can't be white when we feel like it.
What I'm saying is a lot of people end up identifying with their socioeconomic group, not their race. So once they become
a lot of people don't. A lot of most racists are fucking broke and white, and they broke.
And they are,
and the ones that be shooting up the schools be usually white, and they usually don't have girlfriends. And they have the same, like, you know, social is one thing, or ethnic, or rather as far as like money goes and what money you got. It's really about your perspective on life and who you blaming for your problems.
Right.
So I just feel like anyone that is racist is always just mad at their life and want to blame somebody else. I don't give a fuck about them, but I do know within any kind of gang unit or crew or team, whether it's the police, religion, when you come in the room, there's a connection you always gonna have, and that always kind of like you gotta have respect for that. That's just, you know, it goes without saying. I mean, I see that.
But it's just interesting because it's like, who are you supposed to identify with? Because I don't identify with other white people. I might identify with somebody who just seems like they came up around. I identify.
But the luxury you have is choice, though. You got choice.
Right. But
you don't have choice.
Right. But do you really feel like that's best case scenario for you to like primarily like support people based on race?
No, I didn't say that at all. All I said was, I was asking you because the question you asked me was revolt, and obviously you're asking me about revolt because it's a black network. You didn't ask me about a white one.
Generationally too. You
but
and Puffy came out at the same time.
Wait. You didn't ask me about Vice. You asked me about revolt. Right. That was kind of a racist question. You shouldn't have just categorized me.
You and
revolt.
Puffy come from literally the exact same period
racist.
Of music industry
racist.
Progress.
That's racist. There's a lot of people that came. Bro, you just
Vice comes from a journalistic place.
Wow.
Bad Boy and Rockefeller were like the same.
I'm not just
the same exact type of music of the same exact generation.
Bro, but the thing I'm saying is this.
I'm not saying that's all you are.
The thing I'm saying is this. You didn't compare me to anybody but him, so you put me in a box. And that's what people generally do. It was unconscious, but you did. And I noticed it because you're not on the other side of that. Okay. So when you talk about Dame Dash, you compare me to Revolt, nigga. Compare me to HBO.
Okay.
Compare me to Disney. Don't compare me to Revolt. They knew. Compare me to somebody whose spot I want. I don't want Puff's spot. I want him to get where I'm at. And I'm gonna help him get there. Compare me to somebody I want to take down.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that's the unconscious racism that happens.
Oh.
But you know, and I'm not knocking you for it, but I'm just bringing it to your attention.
Right.
Gov, don't bark about that. It's okay.
I said I feel like you came into this life knowing that you were going to be a black man.
What do you know about what you're going to come into life as before you're born?
I feel like it's our karmic energy. Like, not necessarily our karmic energy, but...
You think you were conscious before you were born?
Well, let me say this. There's books like Seed of the Soul where you get to look at your life and determine how much, how many defining moments that you're going... Like, you could pick your... It's like your soul evolves based on how much pain you feel. So before you actually get into your life, like you might be like, I want to evolve faster, so you might choose to have a rougher life. You understand what I'm saying? So you might choose to come in the world struggling just so you could evolve your soul quicker.
That's what these kids are doing.
Knowing that you can that you can be a leader or that you can be a voice for these people. For any people.
But that's the thing they won't teach you. You know what I mean? But those are the things that definitely I've been reading for years that are logical. Seed of the Soul. Yeah. Well, read Seed of the Soul. It will definitely give you, some insight into what they're not telling us or what feels right or wrong. But I generally don't like what is presented to me because everything that I know that's presented to other people has been meant to control. So I know everything that's been presented to me has been meant to control me. I'm just not trusting in that way. Yeah.
Okay, so just to get to this, I feel like the interesting thing about us doing a podcast together is
we're not doing a podcast. We're doing a show, bro.
A show. Right.
Dream big. Remember I said in here, we dream big.
Right,
but podcasts ain't small.
If people sit there and talk for an hour, it's basically a podcast, regardless
of
how
it comes
out.
What's a talk show?
Yeah.
That's a talk show. What does David Letterman do?
The main thing I would say is the difference is talk shows in front of audience. Talk shows
edited. There's an audience.
Right.
And no, talk shows aren't edited. They're live.
The dog's here.
You ever been on Letterman, bro?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they're not edited. Why you assuming that?
I don't know.
See?
It just feels like a different procedure.
Nah, you dream bigger.
What people like about a podcast is the fact that it's a fucking unedited, unadulterated, hour-long, roughly block of talk.
But but the thing about it is, if you put that on a bigger platform, if people love it there, they'll love it anywhere. It's about the narrative.
Yeah.
So if you call it a TV show, it's a TV show. You could call it a podcast, or you could call it a TV show.
Every piece of media that you create, you got to be able to take it from the 10-second clip to the minute-long clip to the hour-long clip.
Yeah, you have to be able to monetize it.
And you got to be able to put it through in different ways for people who want to do it.
Exactly. So like here, everything we do is visually. Those are movie cameras. But also you have an auditory. That's the podcast version. But you get to see the visual. It'll be put on YouTube, and we'll put it on Real Network because we got one, and then we'll be able to stream it. We'll be able to chop this up so many different ways. That's what happens with content.
We got to just find the ways to make people give a shit about the content. And that's what I'm saying is I think that the main challenge is going to be me and you relating. Like, this is the whole challenge of this podcast, is that people feel like this show is that you're unknowable as a human being. That's how a lot of people feel, is that you're sort of, there's something that precedes you that makes it almost impossible for people to really feel like they're getting to know a real person. They're so fascinated by you because they don't, something about you that they can't wrap their head around. Does this sound familiar?
I just think people don't believe that I walked away from Rockefeller and that whole world on my own terms. No one can believe that I chose to be independent at the height of it all. No one could believe that I chose to invest in myself and not be a slave or give up any of my soul to fit in. No one can believe that I like to break patterns and be disruptive, because the only way to have change is to change, to be different. And if everybody's doing something, if you do something different, of course they're going to think it's different. And if it makes them feel uncomfortable, of course they're not going to be very receptive to it, because fear kicks in. And that's another thing, is they can't believe I'm not scared, because a lot of people live with a lot of fear in their life. A lot of people don't know how to dream. I dream in front of people. That's what people don't understand. Every learning experience I have is public record. They see it in the paper. I pay a bill late, that shit is in the newspaper. You know, I have an argument with my daughter, it's in the newspaper. And I don't give a fuck. And that's what they don't believe. So it's not like I'm not transparent. I'm not a big mystery. The mystery is, how am I still relevant with gray hair? Without fucking, being married to someone famous. Or without selling my soul, or hitting the red carpet every day, or kissing somebody's ass. That's what it is. And I become a brand for just that. So now you expect it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
As long as I'm moving forward. Like, if I'm just popping shit and nothing's happening, then yeah, that's insecurity. That's ego. But if every time I say fight and I'm fighting, and every time you see me, there's more equipment, and there's more distribution, and there's more proof of concept, and there's more people eating off of what I'm doing, and there's more love that's being given, even if it looks gangster, it's really love. You can't say it's wrong.
Well, let me just answer this question, is like, how much do you think that your identity is tied to your own success?
I think it means everything, being truthful and having a point of view and being honest and authentic. If your work is good and you're not cheating, then you'll always be relevant, and you have to not live off the past all day. You got to keep creating for the future, and you have to evolve. You can't be doing the same shit for 25 years. That becomes a ringer. It's like being a senior in high school for 10, 15 years and then be thinking you're doing something and fronting on everybody who's like a rookie, because that's what I look at people do. Stay at the same slot for 24 years, play it safe, block other people's positions so they can take it and move on, and then start fronting on new jacks.
Right.
In a certain industry.
Yeah, I hear that. But do you feel like you perhaps hold on to this like animosity towards the music business?
Nah, there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
I ain't got no animosity, but if you ask me about it, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
I feel that other people should not be victimized by it. So, of course, there's an animosity if I see people getting molested and robbed and no one giving a fuck about other people's families, and it keeps happening over and over again by the same people. Yeah, if you ask me about it in that moment, I'm going to tell you about it. And my experience is never going to change. And if I want people to learn from mine, so they don't have to feel the learning experiences that I had to.
But do you feel like there's no way that you could ever see yourself working again with like a traditional record label?
I'm a television network, bro.
Right.
That's like asking me to pitch nickels. Why would I do that? It doesn't yield. It's like, yo, you want to go from being a champ to going back to amateur? That shit is a fucking farce. I can't get no money like that. Not the kind of money I'm trying to get. I'm selling television networks right now.
Right.
I was doing that shit when I was in my 20s. I can't go backwards. I got to go forwards.
What do you think the world wants from Dame Dash at this point?
I'm not thinking about that, bro. I know what I want to give the world. More love. I want them to learn from anything that I've done while I'm doing it. I want us to evolve. I want us to change I want us to change what the normal is. You know what I mean? And I'm watching it happen, and I know I'm a part of it. You know what I mean? I don't care what they want. They don't know what they want. No one wants to be taught. No one wants to be told constructive things. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to know that they don't know things. I want more people to teach me. I want people to get smarter than me. So I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to learn.
Right. What do you think people could get out of this podcast, though? What do you think best case scenario is?
That you should stop calling it a podcast?
This show, sorry.
Break patterns. See how hard it is? Pause.
It's in my blood. Pause.
That's the thing. It's in your DNA. You got to reprogram yourself. That's why this is deprogramming.
Do you think that there's anything? What would you say to the people who think that there's something weird about you still saying pause after all these years?
I don't care. I don't care what people say. I made this shit up with my crew, and I still hang out with my crew, and I got a funny crew. Most people couldn't tolerate or take the kind of snapping and cutting ass that we do, and that game is still live. And if I say the wrong shit, ain't nobody else gonna say shit. When certain people call, the shit is funny, and I'm picking up.
Right.
It's a funny game, B. It's our game. It's not meant for nobody to understand. That's why we called
funny
it
game.
pause.
Right.
Like if you didn't know what it meant, it wouldn't bother you.
Oh, I know what it means. But so no homo's dead.
I didn't make that up. That's Cam and them.
But so pause came after though. Pause was like the replacement, right?
No.
It
You
was
see, you
before?
all mixed up right now.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
Pause is the OG of all that. We started that shit. It started with Ayo, and then it turned into pause. And we did it so nobody else would know what it meant because it was our own little joke. You know what I'm saying, for us. But people figured it out, and then it went platinum, like everything else that we do.
Went global. Damn, ain't that
Pause
the
was
truth?
first, bro. Ask them; they'll tell you.
Ask who?
Anyone that says no homo.
They'll tell you that James Ash came with it. Or no, Cam
Hey,
came with
yo. No, I'm saying the wrong shit. Pause all the way. Forget it. Let's go to the next subject.
it. What else do we need to talk about?
You had some shit on your mind you was talking about.
Oh yeah, the Ye album. So you spoke to him?
Yeah, we texted. Yeah.
How was that? What was the conversation?
It wasn't such it was more like a thank you. You know, Kanye be looking out sometime when I don't expect it. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
What did he look out? In what way? It's a podcast.
I'ma
Can't leave
just-
it at that. It's a
not
show.
a podcast.
It's a show.
No, I am leaving it at that. I got to respect our brotherhood.
Okay. But he looked out. I'm trying to think of how he could have looked out.
Here, think about it.
Hmm.
All right, but let's not make that go platinum. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. But so what do you think about the project? You listen to it?
Yeah, I did. I listened to it today.
And how you feel? Was it what you needed?
If I was into gospel, yeah, I think it was art because he didn't make a rap record. He made art. And what did you think about it?
Not for me. At all.
Do you like gospel at all?
Hell no. What the fuck do I need that in my life for?
So that's probably why you didn't like it.
I got bad memories of going to church when I was a kid. I don't relate to all these people who act like that shit was all fun and games, man. I fucking hated that shit. You made me sit on a plank of wood and just fucking listen to this shit, stand up. That shit was hard. Wake up early on a Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on, I'm about logic as it relates to religion and ancient history and things that come from, I was telling you about Billy Carson and the Emerald Tablets, and this is all ancient texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they don't talk about a lot of those things, and it involves the explanation for, humans. And basically it says that we came from the Anunnakis and we were genetically modified to be slaves. But this is an ancient text. But no one ever talks about this. And, a lot of
I did try to Google this because people were laughing at the fact that you were talking about it, and I clearly had no idea what the fuck you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the problem. They keep us blind. And because of that, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket, but I'm not like a gospel kind of dude either. But to me, Kanye as an artist does what I do with businesses. He might wake up one day and say, I want to do fashion. So he'll do some fashion. He'll make one day. He basically brought hip hop and had a big mosh pit at the Staples Center to fucking gospel music. And that's never been done before. So I think he just does it. He's an artist. And also, how much do you expect from like a rapper or producer over 40 anyway? Like, what the hell do you want?
Right.
He's not 24 years old.
To me, it's the worst
He sells
Kanye
sneakers.
album. I don't think that the world needs this. I don't think he did a good job at what he probably should have been trying to do, which is he needs to explain to us what the fuck he's been doing for the past few years.
Let me ask you a question. That's what you want to know. But clearly,
Definitely.
Kanye's an artist that does what he wants. So you keep asking what the people want, and an artist does what an artist wants. So that man's just being an artist, whether you like it or not. You have
just
to
watched the big
wait. Hold on a
Boy interview.
second. I heard about it. But what you have to respect is this: if you went to church and heard that music, that would be the funkiest church you ever went to.
Is that the standard we're judging music by now?
That's the standard we're judging gospel music by.
Yeah, but who the fuck wants a gospel album from Kanye West? Like a real
Somebody in
gospel
gospel. Well, obviously everyone did. He had 10,000 people there the other night mosh pitting to gospel.
album? Yeah. I'm just talking about like me.
That's
as
an
a
art right
fan.
there.
I
That's
don't
an
know.
art. To me, think about this. Imagine sitting in a room being this arrogant. Kanye like, yo, I bet you I can make a mosh pit, 10,000 kids, white, black, whatever, mosh pit over Jesus Christ. And he did that shit.
I've seen people
That's what he did.
mosh for all kinds of whack bands, so it
But
wouldn't
have you seen
surprise
that?
me
Wait,
at all.
question. Have you seen anybody mosh pit over gospel?
No, and I was totally
All
okay
right,
with
so
that.
hold on. So he brought you a first, right?
that doesn't go as far
That's
as
art.
it needs
It
to.
depends
here.
on. See, your win might be your musical experience, which could be selfish. His win, which could be selfish, is just making people mosh pit over gospel
Look,
music.
this is my thing. I watched the Big Boy interview, and it's like he just says the most outlandish, ridiculous shit.
Didn't he tell you he's
If-
bipolar?
But if you, yeah, but that's
Didn't he
fine.
admit it?
That's the excuse that we're just gonna give people. It's like, he's bipolar. You can say whatever the fuck
Bro,
he wants.
he was in a fucking. He was in a mental
Bro,
institution.
he repeats the most ridiculous, boring,
Can I ask you a question?
right-wing talking
Question.
points
Let me-
over
let
and
me ask you
over,
a
and then he
question.
tries to lean on the God
Can I
shit
ask you
to
a
get
question?
away with it.
Can I
And
ask you
the
a
album
question?
is the same shit. He puts out a boring album, and the only thing you can say to defend it is
I'm not
it's
defending it.
gospel.
First off,
Who
let's
gives
get.
a fuck?
Let's
It's
not.
boring.
Wait,
And
wait.
the
First,
fucking-
first of all,
the bullshit he says, the way he defends Trump, the way he defends, everybody should agree to disagree. It's boring. It's stupid. And then he has to rely on Jesus to try to get away with it.
can I just tell you something?
It's the oldest trick in the book, though, to be
Can
honest.
I tell you something about Kanye?
Yeah.
He just won. Because all he wants to do is invoke emotion.
Oh.
And he made you emotional.
Listen, there's a right
I
and a
promise
wrong.
you.
But his whole thing is like, all black people shouldn't have to have the same opinion.
The question
Cool.
is, how do you not know Kanye by now?
The thing that black people want from Kanye is some sort
But
of
you're not even black. How you gonna tell me with black people? Wait, time out. Stop right
But
there.
he wants,
Whoa, whoa,
he wants an
whoa, whoa.
explanation for why everybody's so
let's-
fucking mad
I
at
know,
him,
but
right?
hold on a second. Let's just rewind to a point you just made.
I'm not even mad at him. I get why everybody
But
else
let's-
is mad at him
I
because
know,
he's
but-
not making a good argument.
But clearly, let's address this. You just said what black people want. That's what you just said.
He's aware of what black people want from him that they're not
Wait
getting.
a second. Question. How crazy does it sound for a white man to tell a black man what black people want?
Look, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm saying
That'd be like
but
me telling
Kanye's
you what white
talking
people
about
want.
how he feels about what Black
But
Twitter
you're not
thinks
addre-
about him.
See,
on
you're
that
only caring
interview.
about your points. The question I just asked is how crazy is it for a white man to tell a black man what other black people
right, but
want?
deal with the substance of what I'm saying.
But
not
you're
my-
not. See, you're
my
doing that.
identity
You're
group.
doing that evasive thing.
I'm not being evasive at all. I want you
you're
to
not
confront my ideas head on.
You only care what you want.
And it has nothing to do with my ideas either. I'm talking
So,
about what Kanye
question.
wants. Kanye is
Quick
clearly
question.
concerned with the fact that his people
Clearly in
are
this-
concerned about his ideas.
Okay, let me just say this. In this conversation, we want two things out of it. You want to answer about music, and I want to answer about how a white man could say what a black man what other black people want.
But tell
so
me
my
how I'm
answer
wrong.
to you is this. I can't tell you what Kanye's thinking. Period. And I'm not sticking up for him at all. I'm telling you my opinion about what he did. But within this conversation, it stimulated another one. How is it okay for a white man to tell a black man what other black people want? And why would it be logical for anyone to listen to that? Answer that question.
This is my response. You can't just sweep the Trump shit under the rug like it's not a big deal.
not a
People
response to
want
my
him
question.
to explain the Trump shit in a way that makes sense to them. It's not going to
Do
happen.
you notice you're not
But
acknowledging
that's
my
the
question?
bare minimum. Is that if you're going to support Donald Trump, you have to explain this in a way that makes sense to people.
Adam, do you notice?
That's at least what I wanted out of this album.
Adam, do you notice you're not acknowledging my question?
I'm not. I don't think it's important what race I am when I say that. I'm saying what I think from observing public discourse. I think
Adam.
that there's a level to which people are unhappy
Adam.
with Kanye, primarily because
Adam.
of his support of Donald Trump.
Adam, I'm a black man with a question. How is it okay for a white man to tell a black man
Oh my God!
what other black people want?
If you want a real answer, that's not at all what I was doing. I wasn't
You did
talking
say
about
that.
what
You
a black
said
people
that.
want. I'm talking about from my observation,
But-
what I see, what people want from him. People want an explanation for the Trump shit. People
you're not
want
gonna
him
answer my
to
question?
somehow land on something that ideologically makes sense.
If you don't answer questions, why should he?
I'm answering the question to the best of my ability. I don't know what the hell you want from me.
Well, you keep telling me about what Kanye should have did, and all I'm asking is, logically speaking, how is it okay for a white man to tell a black man what other black people want to hear?
Why would it ever not be okay for one human being to comment on how other human beings are behaving regardless of race?
That would be like me telling you what other white people want to hear from Kanye. I can't.
And that
tell
is a
you that.
completely fair conversation you have. And why would I
wouldn't
ever try to
logic-
strip you of that?
I wouldn't logically say that because I don't know what white people want.
But
from
if
Kanye. I'm not white.
you read an article or you had a conversation with a white person, then of course you could comment on what a white
To be
person
honest,
thinks about a
how about
particular
this?
issue.
I don't care what white people think about what Kanye, what they want from him. I don't care. As an artist, I don't do. See, you're not an artist.
I'm not really concerned about what
let's-
black people want from
let's go off the
Kanye
race
either. I'm
thing.
talking about what
Let's
I
go off
want
the
from
race
him
thing.
is I want him to at
Let's go to the
least
artistry
make
thing.
sense of all the bullshit that he says.
All right, well, ask him. Let me ask you this. I can't talk for the man, bro. I'm just sorry, I can't. I wish I could give you answers, but I can't.
All right.
I don't even know why Kanye does what Kanye does. But as my observation of him is this as an artist, I appreciate that he keeps it interesting. I appreciate it in his 40s. He got the
That's
whole.
not enough. That's how people defend Trump. They say it keeps it interesting.
Listen,
He
listen.
shakes
If
shit
it's not
up.
enough,
That's not enough.
Listen to me. It's not enough for you. Your win's not the same as mine.
But I'm saying
With
that's
due
not
respect,
what we should want from the world. Is
With
somebody
due
who's
respect,
just
listen
so
to me.
ridiculous
Listen
that
to
we
me.
can't look away.
For you, to me, you don't have to listen to it. That's your opinion. Like he doesn't have to do shit that you want. He owes you nothing. You understand? You could just not listen to him. You don't have to give a fuck. But my point is, because I don't look at just the smaller picture. My bigger picture is this. I see, because I traditionally see rappers washed up at this age. I traditionally don't see rappers making this amount of money off things that have nothing to do with music, like culture with sneakers. I don't see people at his age from rap being significant. He gave an award to Rick Owens yesterday, and then he's doing a sermon in Compton the next. This is very interesting stuff. He keeps it interesting. It hurts nobody. But we are actually talking about it. He stimulates conversation, and we need that in a world where everyone's just trying to fit in. He's not right. He's not wrong. But you got to appreciate the fearlessness in which he creates his artistry and the age he's still doing it. Who else his age is doing it?
If you support Donald Trump, you're wrong. You're objectively wrong.
What are you talking
and I
about?
want to have the conversation. I at least want to hear you own up to why. And
Bro,
I at least want to be able to debate the substance of the fucking ideas.
I personally don't agree with a lot of things Kanye does.
Needless to say.
But what I like to do is talk about the shit I do agree with him with, because it's more impactful than the bubblegum shit. So I think what he's done in fashion, and you can't act like Louis Vuitton would be Louis Vuitton without Kanye.
Right.
And that's a big deal because
nobody's trying to take Kanye's cultural impact away from him.
So that's the bigger picture. And that's all that counts. You expect the man to be perfect on all accounts? You ain't doing none of that shit. This is my thing. Unless you're doing anything he's doing, you can't tell that man what to do.
We can't have an honest conversation about his album unless we're doing all the things that he's doing. That's outlandish.
That's not what I said.
Absurd.
I said you can't judge a man.
Yes, you can do
about
that
his
too.
Art.
You could definitely
judge
someone.
That's the game I don't play.
You can work at McDonald's and have an opinion about the new Nas album. You can work at
that's not what I said.
CIA and have an opinion about the guy you just saw at the coffee
shop. You have more
shop.
than
it's
an opinion.
Okay to have opinions.
You're telling me that he has a responsibility to think and say everything that's right. And I'm saying he can say what the fuck he wants. Y'all all know, number one, that he does have a problem. And y'all keep putting a fucking mic in front of him every time he doesn't take his fucking pills, and then you're mad about what he says.
He's putting a mic in front of himself. He's a public figure. This is what you do. You go on camera and talk.
But you don't ever identify with the logic. If you know somebody's in a bad place, you don't give him a mic. And everybody, when he says dumb shit, everyone in every platform he says dumb shit on makes a lot of money from it, which is why they continue to give him the mic, because they know what to expect from Kanye. So when he went to see the president, no one was expecting him to say nothing normal. He did exactly what the world wanted. He got a skit on Saturday Night Live. That's what the fucking world wanted. They got it. If Kanye's not doing something disruptive, I really don't want to fucking hear from him. Period. There's nothing reason to talk about Kanye unless he's bugging out. So keep bugging out, Kanye. And also keep looking out. You know what I'm saying? Because as a person and as a brother, he's the only motherfucker that I invested in that ever looked out. Ever looked out. Ever looked out. And that means more to me than any other bubblegum shit that he's doing. So even when I'm mad at him, I can't even be mad at him, because by the time I get in front of him, he fucking pays the proper respect. And no one does that. Not one fucking person. So yeah, I'm going to hold him down, because he's the only one that's ever held me down, whether it's publicly or not. Period. And that's all that counts. He's been loyal to a degree.
I mean, yeah. All right.
He's the only one that's shown even a slither of loyalty to me. And I haven't seen that from anyone. And that quality is what motherfuckers need to talk about, because that's all that counts. to me, especially today.
Wow, that was intense. Yeah, I just want to say for the record, I like Kanye too, but I mean, I just don't really
He's
care
not
for the
your
album.
brother, bro.
He's not my brother.
You're not gonna
no,
have an
no.
objective conversation with me
Just
about
a fan.
Kanye because you don't know him like I do. Period. I know him,
Right.
you know, and I appreciate everything he did because we sat down and architected a dream, and he took that shit to Michael Jackson level. He's Willy Wonka right now. He could change anyone's life if he touches him. Pause the right way. That's a power, bro. And that shit don't come. Y'all better appreciate that. Life would be whack without Kanye.
Jeez. There it is.
You think it would be a better place if he wasn't acting up? What the fuck would y'all talk about?
I mean, there's specific incidences I could do without. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Every single incident you talk about, you enjoy talking about it.
Look at the Trump shit in a bubble and admit to
Who
me
gives
that
a
you
fuck,
don't like
bro?
it.
It's bubblegum shit, bro. Who gives a fuck?
What could be more
Who
consequential?
gives a fuck? What the
How is
fuck?
that bubblegum?
Let me ask you a question.
Your
Let me question.
defense, you call that bubblegum and then you talk about sneakers. Sneakers don't matter.
What are you talking about, bro?
Ideas
Jobs
matter.
matter.
The president
no,
matters.
the fact that a black man could have white kids wearing his name on it matters to us.
A black man with really bad
You
ideas
don't know
about
nothing about
politics.
that, bro. You don't know what it is like that. You don't know what it is. We take pride in seeing a black man's name on a white man's fucking foot. Go Kanye. You changing the game. Adidas' whole game changed. Germans got to bow down to him right now. So Nike got Jordan, that's us. Adidas got Kanye, that's us. That confidence is what we need. Thank you, Kanye. And y'all need to be thanking them, whoever's wearing this shit. Whoever gets girls because they wearing the sneakers and showcases they got some bread should give them some props for that. Fuck the bubblegum shit. It's easy to talk about bubblegum shit. It's always hard
who's
to
the
talk about the
president?
good shit.
Like who's the president of the United States?
Who gives a fuck? He ain't doing nothing. He going to jail. His whole crew is
Going
in
to
jail.
Well, if he's going to jail, that's an even better reason for
we having
Kanye to
fun
not
watching
support
it.
him, right?
Who cares, B? Nobody gives a fuck. You ain't got to listen to Kanye, bro. Nobody got to.
Right.
But you're going to still buy his shit. You're going to talk about him.
I did. I bought a sweatsuit and a record last night. $260.
All right. Well, he's smart.
That's why he ain't on no Dancing with the Stars shit.
Well, you took the weed already?
I didn't take it.
Where'd your bag
Somebody
go?
on my team might have took it.
Come on, don't get mad at me. Come on, no jumping.
Oh, so you gonna smoke a white man's weed?
Yeah,
How is that okay?
because I'm not telling you what a white man wants to smoke. Can I get some? Can I get some of your weed? I ain't gonna never tell you what a white man want to do, bro. I can tell you what a white girl want to do. Can I get a what you call it?
You think I could potentially end up as your closest white friend? Is that something that could happen through this process?
I have multicultural friends from everything. I went to boarding school. I went to Park Avenue. You know, I chose that street life and it burnt me out. You know what I'm saying? But I like people, man. And I like to talk about things honestly. And I like things that stimulate and evoke conversation.
Pause.
Pause. I mean,
I should have said it right after stimulate.
well, if you want to catch me,
Still
you have
working
to,
on it.
Here's the game, bro. Just so you know, if you say something crazy, and before you say pause, somebody says "Hey yo," then that's when you cooked, and they could tease you for it. So there, I just gave up a jewel. Should I have done that? I don't know. But there's levels to the game that people don't even know.
That's real. Oh man. Well, she's bringing back a weed over here.
So
too.
let me ask you a question: who's your favorite artist right now?
My favorite artist.
Rock and
right
roll.
now. Rock and roll, just in general, the whole.
White people want to hear rock and roll. See,
Nobody
it sounds
thinks that.
crazy, right?
Nobody thinks that.
It sounds crazy.
Nobody thinks that.
You gonna tell me what white people want?
No, white people don't care about rock music either. You don't know this?
Isn't that crazy?
EDM and rap music.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you think white people have lost? Because rock and roll, I think, was, started black. But back in the day, if I met a 23-year-old, they would know about Led Zeppelin and the heritage of live instrumentation and go to festivals. How come white people ain't white people no more? Maybe it's Tyler the Creator. You know?
That's real. You go to Tyler the Creator show, it's all white kids. You ever seen this?
See, but I'm asking you because I'm going to ask somebody white. What the fuck is going on?
I mean,
what white culture? Because I'm not saying it to be racist, but what do you embrace that you consider really yours? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yours. Not to say you can't participate, but like if you were to play the music from what you consider your heritage, not racist or nothing, but like an African is gonna play African music.
Right.
If you're gonna play your natural heritage, what music would you play?
I mean, if I were to base it solely on my racial group or my location where I was born, I would play you a bunch of Boston hardcore bands that I do have a lot of. I love them.
Which ones are those?
I would play Blood for Blood. I'd play you, going outside of Boston, I play you Minor Threat, Chain of Strength, Youth of Today.
So why you don't think that shit is embraced anymore?
It's like every genre has a time period when it's interesting, and that's, I guess, the interesting thing about hip hop is just that it's been and managed to sustain its viability for so long.
Now white people can't teach me nothing. They can't tell me nothing I don't know.
Well, streaming services is making everybody the same,
I want to know
right?
about some white people shit.
Right.
But now white people be telling me more about black people shit.
You want me to tell you about a bunch of hardcore bands that nobody watching at home knows about?
I want to know about shit I don't know. I want to know about things I don't know. Right. I always want to learn and evolve. And usually in the music that I never heard, I always find something crazy in it because it's always about a rhythm and a movement. So yeah. You stop picking our brain. I want some of your culture.
You listen to Misfits?
Give me some of that.
I love the Misfits.
Because you got to think about my culture.
Let's talk about the Misfits.
Wait a second. I love the Misfits.
Yeah.
Let's, and that's old school. What I'm saying is our culture is very giving. We give it all away. We just give it away to the extent that everyone's being lazy about creating new shit. I want to see some new shit or some old new shit because the old shit now would be new because no one's been talking about it. I want to hear some rock and roll and combine it with some hip hop. Mix up the new with I want to see some new shit. Let's not get complacent.
Usually when people combine rock music and rap music, it doesn't turn out that good.
Wait, hold on. First off, let's get that. Hold on. Now I did.
I'm thinking Limp Bizkit. No offense to Fred Durst.
No, wait. Let's stop right there.
I feel like that kind of stained it for a long time.
Let me bust your bubble. Go to blackrock.com, BLAKROC, and look at the project I did with the Black Keys, where I put. You know about that project?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's rock. That's real rock and roll. Real rock and roll with rap is beautiful. I put it with Mos Def and Q-Tip and Pharoah Monch and Billy Daz and RZA and Raekwon, and that shit was magic.
But needless to say, like rap rock never really took off the way that it maybe could.
Wait. Like I said, that shit was magic.
Okay.
And that's timeless music.
That's one project.
Well, that's Dame Dash.
I'm talking about its overall.
Only one I know is what I did. That's the one I know. I know what I could do. The reason why nothing's been dope is because nobody dope did it. Because when Run DMC did it with Aerosmith, that was Aerosmith?
Yeah.
That shit was bomb. Walk This Way was Butters.
Yeah. But that was like 30 years ago.
Exactly. Because there ain't no more white people to jam out with.
There's plenty of popular white rock bands and shit, but you don't want to go to a Five Finger Death Punch concert.
When you say popular,
you don't want to go to a Mumford & Sons concert.
First of all, I went to a Mumford & Sons concert,
right.
And Jay-Z got me the tickets. Me and Raquel went to Mumford & Sons. So what are you talking about?
Okay.
See, you're a racist bastard.
Well, I guess I would completely understand if you hadn't been to a Mumford & Sons concert.
Why would you understand that?
Because I personally wouldn't really want to go.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
To me, that's not really my thing.
Yeah, but I went.
I was talking to somebody from a record label. They told me that their rock releases sell like 5% of the rap releases.
Rock and roll is dead.
Just
right
to put it in perspective.
I was talking to John Peets from Q Prime the other day, who was the manager. Country music is the closest thing to rock and roll right now.
Yeah. That's real.
And black people done took that shit over too.
I feel like we need somebody to
what's his name?
put the mic.
What's his name? Just went motherfucking.
Kelsey, come hold the mic next to his face.
What's his name? What's his name? Just went diamond.
Lil Nas.
Nas went diamond. So the black people just took country music. Got that too.
Billy Ray helped him get there, though.
He did.
They had to join forces.
Absolutely. That was a logical move.
Right.
I think he just reversed it on you. He just, he Eminem the situation. Gotcha. Threw a sprinkle of the gay shit in there, no disrespect. Took everything.
But that doesn't bother you? Pause isn't a homophobic thing?
Why I'm homophobic? Because I'm black?
Well, I mean, the pause thing, a lot of people might take it as homophobic.
Nah, bro, we make jokes, bro.
Devil's advocate, but
who cares? I don't care what people think, bro. I'm not racist. I was in fashion. You can't be, that's I'm not. I like women. I just love women, but it's just funny. I just like to make jokes, and whoever doesn't like it, I don't care.
Right. I mean, a lot of from the LGBTQ perspective, it would.
About that now?
But their argument would be,
why are you worried about that?
Jokes hurt people's feelings.
All
jokes
right,
can
all right.
reinforce negative stereotypes.
But do you care?
I'm again devil's advocate.
Do you care, Sweeten? You neutral?
I'm a big fan of offensive humor, so for me, the line needs to be blurred constantly.
Adam 22 is political right now. Wow.
I'm being political.
Bro, like I said, do you care?
No.
All right, then that's what we are. Why are we talking about other people?
It's not my fight.
So why you fighting me?
Right. Well, we'll get some gay guy on here someday to challenge you.
No challenge for me. I'm not tackling.
How are you resisting the pause right now?
No. Hey, yo.
We'll get a big, beefy gay guy in here to push your limits. Take you to the extreme, the edge of sanity.
I'm out that conversation. So what else we talking about?
I don't know what could be better than the Kanye conversation we just had. Or
All right, let's wrap that shit up and get to the party.
you think?
So what do we have to expect? What we gonna do, bro?
I feel like we only did 40 minutes though. If we really want to be
how
doing
long
a
did we
full
take?
show, we need an hour. It's 40
Oh, so we got
minutes.
15. Let's go. I'm down.
We got 15.
You want some questions from the audience?
Sure. You gonna do that again?
You want to do it or no?
I mean, last time it happened, it was pretty fucking funny. I'm gonna be honest
Do
with
you
you.
want to do it or not?
Have questions from the audience? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Fuck it.
Point
Anybody got
somebody
some
out.
questions?
Raise a hand.
Nobody got a question in here?
There is a room full of people. There's probably at least.
No one has.
30
Everybody
people in
shy in this one? Don't be scared. Somebody got a question. And we talked about a lot today.
If there's not one question.
I'm
Oh,
just-
here we go.
There we go. Okay, I know my man Ali. Load up, black guns. Don't be scared. I love that.
Okay, so we were talking about when y'all were talking about white rock and things. You brought up the Misfits. My comeback with that would be: have you ever heard of G.G. Allen?
Oh yeah, because I'm from the same place as G.G. Allen, and I grew up like knowing that like a lot of kids would like go to his grave and shit and piss and vomit on it.
I've seen his shows.
You did it?
I lived in Atlanta right before he died. I'm from Atlanta because he
Oh,
used
wait,
to live at the
so
Claremont Lounge.
You're older than me. You actually saw him
I
perform
didn't
and shit.
see him. My I think it was my uncle
Right.
was telling me about it. I'm 38.
Okay.
So I didn't see. I barely missed it, but I did get to see the room that he died in.
Wow.
In Claremont Lounge after the show.
You know about that group, Death?
I heard of him and shit, but I don't know much about him. Black rock and roll group. I don't know about them. Okay.
That's a great comeback.
See, that was my thing when Lil Uzi was coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm the G.G. Allen of hip hop." I'm like, I literally used to have a VHS tape that I bought at the CD store where I grew up, and it had a video of G.G. Allen performing in a library at a college, and he got completely naked and he shoved a banana up his ass and then he shit it out into his hand and threw it at the crowd. And I'm like, Uzi, you just ain't doing that. I'm sorry, like, and it's totally understandable that you don't want to be doing that, but to me that was like, Uzi, you're not that kind of rock star. There's a difference. I don't know what the hell Dame's doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, here we go.
So I'm gonna ask again because the people want to know. What do you, as a white man, know about what black people want? Real talk.
Right. I mean, again, I was just trying to summarize what I personally wanted from the album and what I think a lot of other people want from the album. Huh?
Black people want it. But you was like, but black people want is this. That was like crazy.
I was trying to summarize my feelings on what I think people in general want from him, and in particular, I think that a lot of his stuff with the Trump stuff, with the slavery shit, has really pushed black people to the limits of what they might be willing to accept from someone who, granted, he gets more leeway with this than anyone else. You know, I've tried so many times to answer this question. I don't understand how you think I'm not answering it.
You derailed just now again. I like to say I like your merch. I hope you have one of those for me. Those are dope. All right. Any other questions? Or is everybody shy today? I know we talked about. Yes. Wait. Hold on. Could you pass her the mic, please? And get the mic. Put a camera on her. Every
Why
time
won't
somebody
you
asks
just
a question,
say
let's
just
get a camera.
people instead of saying black people.
What was your question? It doesn't project, but it's just so we can hear the audio on the show.
Why won't you say people instead of saying black people? Just people. Like people will want that.
She's
Why-
saying,
why
why
do
couldn't
you
you
say
just say
black
people?
people?
Why'd you have to say this is what black people want? Why couldn't you say this is what everybody wants?
I think I did say that.
No, you said black people.
I might have said black at some point, but I think overall I said I'm talking about everybody.
But you did say black people.
Shout out to all about black people.
Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, my man Blackface. Nah. See, now, Blackface is he just flew in from Harlem. He got the Hennessy. Let's see. Now, okay, Harlem in the building. He just flew in, and he always got something to say. So don't get shy now, Blackface.
I wasn't here long enough to get the bass. I caught the back end. So
Hey, yo.
hey, yo.
See? Now he would have got caught. So when he said I caught the back end, I said, "Hey yo," then I
Yeah.
could laugh. If he said pause before that,
There wasn't no pause of that.
right? Go ahead.
There was no pause of that.
That's some Harlem shit. So that's go ahead.
So, but I don't really have a question because of all this black and white stuff. It seems like y'all just really got good chemistry for black and white anyway. It plays off on each other real cool.
So you're saying you're enjoying the show,
Yeah.
but you just got here.
But how
So
y'all,
ask a question about what you just enjoyed, and within this chemistry, ask a question.
I only caught the part.
Give me the mic,
I
man.
didn't
Pass
see-
the mic.
Look,
man.
because
Pass
I
it.
don't want to be. I don't even know what Kanye said to the president. So that's how out the loop.
And you're proud of that right now.
I don't know.
You don't even watch Saturday Night Live?
Nah,
Oh man.
I don't watch.
Can you pass the mic
You
before we
see
get
me,
back
I
to the
watch
block shit?
basketball,
Pass.
football.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Now he got a show with us, and he's also that's Adam's man right there too.
The Leo
Introduce
Black
yourself,
Show.
bro. Talk about your shit real fast.
All right, I got a show at Dame Dash Studio called the Leo Black Show. You can follow me, Leo.
And what's the question?
You just said shout out the show, so I will shout out the show.
Well, I was just getting. I
So
thought it was
what
only
is
a quick
this?
one, but
I had a question for Adam though because my guest didn't know what he did. So, what would you consider yourself as a professional, like your career of choice? How'd you get into it? And what would you consider like what you produce? What type of content you have on the No Jumper channel?
Oh man, I mean, I make rap content with rappers and people in the rap game I mean, I guess that's largely what I've been focused on lately, but I mean, in general, we just do all kinds of stuff. I got porn stars, I got YouTubers, comedians,
here's my last question.
all kinds of shit. Yeah.
Why don't you do a rock show instead of a rap show?
I don't listen to rock.
You just said your heritage and all the things you named. How come you don't showcase that?
Well, I mean, I do occasionally. I just had Guar on.
But I'm just saying, like, how come you don't do a rock show as well as a rap show? Why only rap?
I'm just not that interested in it, to be honest. There's not a lot of rock music out there. If I was doing a podcast and it was the year 2003, I guarantee there'd be a lot of hardcore bands I'd be interested in because that was what I was into at the time. I listen to rap.
What
So
do
I
you
interview
want-
rappers for the most part.
On an honest level, what do you want people to get off of your show or any platform you're on? When you are you trying to? Because I know, like, when I get on TV or I get a platform, I really want people to learn from it. That's always my agenda. Always. What's your agenda?
I would say just to have the deepest possible conversation I could have, to really have the most interesting conversation I could have, to just really get to the heart, to get someone to be realer than they normally would be, I guess is like the primal.
You care about the culture?
Yeah,
Don't you want to push it forward?
of course.
So how do you push the culture forward?
How do I push it forward? I guess in my own little way, just by doing the best interviews I can, by trying to elevate people, create,
But meaning, like, how do we
push
grow?
people up to a higher level?
Meaning, like, when you have, to me, just like how you feel Kanye has a responsibility to you, you have a responsibility to other people. What's your responsibility to other people? And do you think it's to make people better? And do you think you make people better?
Yeah, to entertain and to also to ideally like push the overall discourse further and further. Like,
But how do you make them better?
people are going to feel whatever they're going to feel about this conversation, but ideally it's going to spark a conversation where their conversations with their friends are going to
Right.
be ideally pushed to a
So
a
this
different
is the
degree.
way we're pushing the culture forward.
I think so, but having
I think so for 100
uncensored, unedited, uncut conversations of people really exchanging ideas, I think is the only way that we're ever going to be able to like create a better place to live for all races and to make races like that's the main thing I think we could maybe get out of this podcast is the idea of two people who are from different generations, different races, different everything, different places we grew up, find some common ground. And that's what podcasting, I guess, ideally is going to do, right? Is just going to be able to make people like, if you're some 18-year-old kid, but you've listened to hours and hours of me and Charlemagne and Joe Budden and Nori and Dame Dash and all these like different interesting people who do podcasts and shit, don't you think that kid's a lot better off from hearing a bunch of OGs or people who are possibly on the way towards becoming OGs in
Well, I know
entertainment,
what this. I know what
exchanging
we're doing
ideas?
here. I was asking about what you were doing outside of here.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like before you got in this room, when we're not in front of each other. Because again, the reason why you and I are talking is because I do think we stimulated and invoked a lot of conversation that was healthy. And I'm asking, when you're not in front of me, when you're not in this building, what are you doing to make sure the people that are listening to you are better people after they listen to you? And are you intentionally doing it? Is that your agenda? And if it's not, I think that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. But, you know, that's my advice from a older guy with gray hair. Platinum.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're kind of on their own. Yeah, they got to figure it out in terms of becoming better people. I mean, you know, to a certain extent, I'd like people to like take a positive influence from what I'm doing, but I mean, I'm not like a motivational speaker. I'm not trying to like overtly like be out here like I'm gonna.
Let me tell you what I think you do.
Okay.
I think you give the younger dudes a platform, and I think you validate and you make people pay attention to people that deserve it and that are making noise early, and I think you give them a voice. And I think it's important, whether they're saying dumb shit or bad shit. And what I've observed is that you're not scared. And I appreciate the fearlessness in what you're doing.
I'm kind of scared of what people are going to say about this. I'm going to be honest with
definitely. But, I mean, I'm glad because I'm sure people have been on your show and been scared about what you've made them say.
Right.
So, you know, that's a good thing. And I like the fact that, you know, walking in here, because I know you want to throw punches and you know I'm going to throw them back. But they're not punches to hurt each other. It's so people can learn from it.
Yeah.
You know, so I appreciate that.
Appreciate you too, Jay.
And I think the conversation, you know, because again, I think for some reason, there's just one perspective people look at, and it's just, you know, the black perspective and how we relate to each other. But as black people, we kind of curious about what y'all doing. We want to know all your secrets because we give all ours away.
Taylor Swift.
She's not been kept a secret.
We've got this chick. I swear she's incredible.
Well, Lindsay Lohan is an incredible artist. You know?
I was just kidding. I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is there are people that, because the narrative is the wrong way, you can't showcase their real skills. But that girl, Lindsay Lohan, she could sing, she could write, and she really could have been a musician. For real. Like, I you know, I was kind of surprised and, you know, happy about it, but disappointed that that wasn't what people could or had a chance to focus on. Sometimes people get so affected by other people's agendas that they forget their own.
I thought the dog was eating my shit.
He might. Not your shit, but what he got? What you got of his? He
might eat his own shit. That's some dog shit.
He's just licking his hands. He just keeping his knuckles right.
He's just keeping it real.
Keeping his knuckles clean. Clean knuckles over here.
Clean knuckle gang.
So I guess that's about $1 an hour, right?
Yeah.
And we can edit it up. We'll figure it out.
Fuck it. No edits. Let's keep it real.
Fuck it. I like that.
Yeah.